Hi, this is Nick from English Connection, and today I'm going to talk to you about the two different ways that you can do your official Cambridge exam. The two options are the paper-based or the digital-based. Now, although there are lots of advantages and disadvantages of both, for me, there really is only one winner, and that is the digital exam. And the purpose of this video is to explain why. Now, the first reason and the main reason why you should think about doing the digital exam is this. One of the things that I always say to my students is that during the exam, time is not your friend. You have got a lot of things to do and not a lot of time to do them in. Time is precious. And one of the problems with the paper-based exam is that in addition to the actual exam paper, you also have a separate answer sheet. And one of the things that you have to do is transfer your answers from your exam paper onto that separate answer sheet. You do not get extra time to do this. You have to do it within the time limit. And that is what Cambridge receive, the answer sheet. They don't get the exam paper, so you must do it. And what happens is that students frequently panic because they're in a stressful exam situation and they end up submitting an incomplete answer sheet and end up failing or getting a lower mark than they should have done. With a digital exam, this is not the case, because when your time runs out, whatever answers you've selected on that computer is what is automatically uploaded onto the internet. You do not have to transfer any of those answers, which basically means you are saving yourself valuable minutes. And this reason alone should be a reason why you should think about doing the digital-based exam. There are other advantages as well, and one of them is with your writing. Now, obviously, with the writing exam, you do that on the computer, and if you've got bad handwriting, well, that's not going to be an issue on the computer-based exam. But on the paper-based exam, you can end up submitting something that's not very legible. It makes it difficult for the examiner to read. But there's also another advantage. One of the things that students are not aware of when they actually do the paper-based exam is that you're not allowed to use Tipex. Now, once again, you've got a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it in. You can get a bit stressed and invariably you make mistakes. And what happens is students end up putting lots of lines through loads of text. They put asterisks here, asterisks there, an arrow here, this bit goes here. And they end up submitting something that's not very legible. With the digital exam, you don't have this problem. If you make a mistake, you delete it. And you can also copy and paste chunks of text as well. But that's not all with a writing exam. You've also got a word count on the digital-based exam. So you can see if you've written too many words, not enough, or if you are within the word limit. Frequently with the paper-based exam, you can see students writing in pencil how many words they've done next to the margin. And this takes a lot of time. You don't have to worry about this in the digital exam. There is another advantage of doing the digital exam, and that is the time it takes to get your results. With the paper-based exam, you can expect to get your results within about 5 to 6 weeks. In peak season, like the summer, it may even be longer. Whereas with the digital exam, you can expect to receive your results within about a week. So basically, you don't have to spend your summer worrying about whether you've passed or failed. You'll know pretty much straight away. So I've told you lots and lots of advantages of doing the digital exam. But one of the problems my students have, one of the things they worry about is on the actual exam day, they're going to be doing the exam in a way that they've never done it before. Normally they do it on a piece of paper in class or at home. Don't worry. You can go on the Cambridge website and they've got a mock exam on there, which is using the exact same computer program that you will use on your day of the exam. And I'm going to show you that now. So in order to access the digital sample exam, simply go onto the Cambridge website, and I'll put a link in the description. And if you go on here, there's a tab that says exams and tests. Now, for this example, we're going to do the first certificate, but as you can see, it's got all the different levels of Cambridge, but we're going to click on the first certificate for now. Go on to preparation, scroll down, and you will see sample tests, digital and paper-based. Click on it, and we're going to do the paper one for this demonstration. So you just click on here, and there you go. And this is exactly what you will see in the exam. You'll have your name up here, and there'll also be a timer as well. So you can constantly see how long you've got left. Now, what I want you to look at first is actually the bottom of the screen. It's a really, really useful interface. You can see we've got all the different parts of the exam here, and you can do the exam in any order. So if you want to do the reading first, you just click on that and it will take you to a reading. However, for this demonstration, I'm going to start at the beginning. So this is the multiple choice close. So let's just put a couple of answers in so we can see how this works. So you just click on here, you get your options, and then you just click on the answer which you think is correct. Okay, now I'd like you to have a look at the bottom of the screen again, because I've actually answered the first two questions. And if you look, you can see we've got two black lines above questions 1 and 2. That tells me that I've answered the question. Now, this is so useful, because one of the problems with the paper-based exam is sometimes students can leave questions accidentally unanswered, and this eliminates the risk of that. Another really cool thing as well is this. So let's miss out number 3, and I'll show you why in a moment. Okay, so if we look, we can see number 3 is unanswered. But let's say with number 3, I'm a little bit confused. I'm not sure. Is it access or approach? Let's put this, but I want to check it later. If you look at this little icon here, which looks like a little flag or a ticket, you can click it and look what happens. You've got a little orange icon has appeared here. So it means you need to double check this answer later in your exam. So it's so useful. Now, I'm going to go on to one of the readings to show you something else. Now, one of the problems that students have, or something they worry about with the computer-based, is they can't underline text like in a paper-based exam. Well, actually, not true. If you want to highlight text, you simply just do this, let go, and look, you can highlight. In the exam, it might be that you want to make some notes, and if you ask the invigilator for a piece of paper, that should not be a problem. However, there is another function on here that I want to show you. We just simply highlight text here, and look, you can make a note, and they appear here. So, are there any disadvantages of doing the digital exam? Well, actually, there is one disadvantage that you need to be aware of, and that is noise. Because when you do your exam, you're going to be in a room with lots of other students. And particularly in the writing exam, you're going to have lots of people typing on their keyboards all at the same time, which can be quite distracting. However, I do have a top tip to help you overcome this. Now, on the day of the exam, the invigilator, they actually have to prepare the exam room. And in anticipation of the listening exam, they will put headphones on your desk. So when you go in for your first paper, the headphones will already be there. My advice, get those headphones, put them on your head. It will help you focus and eliminate any distractions. Problem solved. So, to summarize the reasons why you should think about doing the digital exam. First and most importantly, you save a lot of time because you don't have to transfer your answers onto a separate answer sheet like in the paper-based exam. Secondly, if you've got handwriting which is not the best, definitely do the digital exam so you don't submit an illegible piece of work. Remember, you can't use Tipex in the paper-based exam, but you can delete, copy and paste text in the computer-based. You also have a word count on the computer, so you can actually see how many words you've written, so you don't have to count them like on the paper-based. It's an incredibly easy to use interface, and you can see all the questions you've answered and not answered. And last but not least, You get your results a lot quicker than with the paper-based exam, usually after 1 week. Well, I hope this video has helped you make up your mind about whether to do the paper-based or digital exam. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below. We'll do our best to reply to them. If you could also like and subscribe to our channel, it will help us grow. Until next time, take care.